World War I witnessed unprecedented levels of violence and trauma, leaving an indelible mark on the mental health of soldiers. This article explores the phenomenon of shell shock, a term used during the war to describe the psychological toll inflicted upon combatants. The trench warfare dilemma are the harsh realities of the trenches. The relentless shelling, constant threat of death, and unsanitary living conditions in the trenches created an environment ripe for psychological distress. The emergence of shell shock. As the war progressed, medical professionals began to recognize the profound psychological impact of combat on soldiers. 2. Symptoms and manifestations. Physical and psychological symptoms. Shell shock encompassed a range of symptoms, including tremors, paralysis, disorientation, memory loss, and severe anxiety. Variability and severity. Symptoms of shell shock varied from mild to severe, with some cases resulting in complete breakdowns or long-lasting psychological trauma. 3. Understanding shell shock. The neurological perspective. Initial explanations attributed shell shock to physical damage to the nervous system caused by proximity to explosions. The psychological trauma. Later, the focus shifted to the emotional and psychological trauma inflicted by the horrors of war. IV. Treatment and interventions. Early approaches. Early treatments included rest, isolation, and attempts to remove affected soldiers from the front lines. The evolving understanding. As medical understanding of shell shock improved, approaches shifted towards psychotherapy, rehabilitation, and support for soldiers' mental well-being. The stigma and perception. Misconceptions and stigma. In the early stages of the war, shell shock was met with skepticism, and affected soldiers were sometimes stigmatized as lacking in courage or resilience. Changing attitudes. Over time, a more compassionate and understanding approach emerged, recognizing shell shock as a genuine and debilitating condition. Shell shock serves as a poignant reminder of the psychological toll of warfare. The recognition and understanding of this condition evolved over time, ultimately leading to more compassionate approaches to the treatment and support of affected soldiers. The legacy of shell shock continues to influence our understanding of mental health in the context of conflict, emphasizing the importance of addressing the psychological scars of war.